All right, I have been reading some really good books with crazy mothers, like just crazy mama bear parents. So let me tell you about mama bears in books coming up. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Book Talks with Miss Thomas. I'm Miss Thomas. I love talking about good books. So if you are interested in hearing about good books, buckle up. Let's talk about books. Okay, so Mother-Daughter Murder Night. I'm going to hop right in with one of my favorites. I listened to the audiobook and it was a lot of fun. So Mother-Daughter Murder Night is not about women who go around killing people. It's actually about three generations of women, actually. There's Beth, who is a nurse. She works with elderly patients, and her daughter Jacqueline, gives tours on kayaks at a kayak shack. They live off in the swamp, like on swampland. And Jack is giving a tour on her kayak with a group of people when one of the people shows up dead, and Jacqueline becomes a suspect, because she was supposedly the tour guide, but she insists that that person never showed up for the tour. And the police, who are kind of obnoxious in this book, don't quite believe Jack, and they really mistreat her. I think it's also relevant to say that Jack is mixed. The mother, Beth, is white, and Jack is brown-skinned. And so the police mistreat her, and Beth is concerned about that. And Beth's mother, Lana, shows up on the scene. And Lana is this real estate mogul who is just used to getting her way. She's this business tycoon. And come to find out, Beth and Lana don't have a great relationship. So Beth didn't run away. She ran away from her life, but it wasn't like a young girl. She ran away as a woman from her mother. She didn't want anything to do with her mother. And she went off to this shack in the swamp and raised her daughter, Jack. But Lana wants forgiveness, and Lana wants to be back on the scene. And so she is fiercely protective of her granddaughter, Jack. And when she thinks that Jack is going to be mistreated by the police or framed for some murder that she didn't commit, Lana becomes determined to solve the case. And Lana is, despite her outward appearance of this, incredibly successful woman, this woman with tremendous business prowess and all this power, we know that Lana has cancer, very serious cancer. And she's concerned about growing old and not being physically well. And she's desperate to, make her mark somehow. And she wants to do it by protecting her granddaughter. So Jack is, involved in this murder investigation, and the grandma is really concerned and trying to solve it, while Beth is like, just butt out, let the police do their job, please just pay for a lawyer, that's all I want from you. And the three of them end up having to work together because they need to make sure that Jack is not convicted of this murder. And so the three of them have to live together and try to solve the murder. And I loved the way the relationship between the three generations of women unfolded in this book. It was just so good, and it was a lot of fun. So aside from the murder mystery, which was very good, there was just a tremendous cast of characters. You've got the three generations of women, and then you've got the owner of the kayak shack, who's like this overgrown guy. He's past his prime, but he thinks he's this young hippie surfer. He was kind of funny. And then the police characters, who are just, Dumb and Dumber. I mean, they were just really, especially the one police officer, he was just horrible. But there was a woman police officer who turned out to be pretty good. And so I loved the characterization in that book. I thought it was a lot of fun. And it also had a fun little mystery going along too. So I highly recommend Mother-Daughter Murder Night. Get the audio if you can. Next up, The Amazing Grace Adams. So that's another one that I highly recommend the audiobook. That is the story of Grace, who is this flighty mother who clearly seems to be losing her mind. And haven't we all, if we're mothers? And especially in her case, because her daughter is turning 16. And the daughter wants nothing to do with Grace. Grace and her husband, Ben, are separated. And Ben has temporary, he's the custodian. I don't know that he actually went for custody, but the daughter, Lottie, is living with Ben. And Grace is determined, absolutely determined to get this birthday cake to her daughter for her 16th birthday. And so throughout the book, Grace is determined to get this cake to her daughter. And she has all these hurdles, like traffic. At one point, I think she just parks in the middle of the road, and she's losing her mind. I think she might be going through menopause too, but she's got all these obstacles, and she's like battling the whole world just to get the cake and get it to her daughter, Lottie. And Lottie doesn't even want anything to do with her. And Ben doesn't especially want Grace there because he doesn't want a scene at Lottie's sweet 16 birthday. And as Grace is determined to get this cake to her daughter, the story unfolds about what happened really to the marriage between Grace and Ben, and how they fell in love is really sweet, and how the marriage started, and how they began life with their baby Lottie. And then it progresses, and we begin to see where things came unglued, and we start to see why Grace is just losing her mind. And really, it's just so hard to parent a teenager. And so I speak from experience when I say that. And so I definitely empathize with Grace. Like, she comes across as downright nuts a couple of times in the book. But then when you start to hear the story from her point of view, I understood her frustration. And this story about how this wonderful family started to come undone unfolds also throughout the novel. And that's a little bit heartbreaking. But it's also uplifting because it's funny. There are scenes throughout the book. It's like there's some sad things that happen, but it's peppered perfectly with humor. So if you are the parent of a teen and you have felt just a little more than nuts once in a while, I highly recommend The Amazing Grace Adams. And the audiobook was great. And my last book is a sleeper. It's kind of an unsung hero. I haven't heard much about it. I just came across it, again, audiobook, so I listened to it. And I highly recommend it. And it is called The Magnolia Inn. And it's book 1 of the Red Stiletto Book Club series. And that one... There was a lot of sighing. There was a lot of sighing and a lot of emotion, and that kind of got on my nerves. But I still really thought it was a lot of fun. And that was the story of Maggie, who is down and out. She was married and her husband made off with all of their funds, ruined her career, and she has nothing. She wants to be a designer, and the money's gone, and she has, she suddenly finds herself single. I want to say 40, maybe below 40. But she's feeling pretty lost, and she has no choice but to ask her mother for a loan. And she is far removed from her mother, Penny, who is again a giant in the business world. And Penny, I believe, is a book publisher. She's a very successful something or other. I think it's a book publisher. And so Maggie goes to her mother's office and has to deal with this snarky little receptionist and wait for an appointment to see her mother. And then she goes and asks her mother for a loan. And much to her surprise, her mother gives her a job not a job in her mother's field, but a job redesigning a house that they inherited from her grandmother that she didn't know anything about. And so now she finds out she had this grandmother she didn't get to know, and there's this house she gets to live in while she redesigns it. And so she is excited for the challenge, but dreading, having to get into this business relationship with her mother. And her mother, Penny, was a trip. I really liked Penny. So I recommend that one. I liked Penny. And then there was another woman in the book named Clementine. Now, Clementine is a local at the grandmother's house. She lives in that community, and she's very curious about the new woman coming along, and they form a friendship. And then Clementine's brother does a little work on the house, and come to find out, maybe there's more to this small town than we originally thought. And Maggie wants to make a community there for herself, but her mother, Penny, doesn't want any parts of that. She just wants to flip the house and sell it. And then Maggie starts a book club because she finds out that her grandmother had a book club. And so she starts this book club. It's called the Red Stiletto Book Club, and all the women wear red stilettos and get together and discuss books. And of course, all the women that come to the book club are just really fun characters. And so it had everything. It had a little bit of romance. It had some mother-daughter tension. It had a lot of female friendships. And I keep looking for more books in that series. I don't know if they haven't been written yet or if my library just doesn't have them, but I look forward to more Red Stiletto Book Club books. I thought that was a really good one, the Magnolia Inn. Love it. Okay, so there you have it. Those are some really good books with really crazy mama bear characters. If you are in the mood for a crazy mama, then find one of those books.